So she worked at, and I hope I say this right, Chrysalis, a company based in Utah that provides residential support and services for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. She helped adults with disabilities in their daily living, community integration, and personal development. And the way she described that work was, she said it didn't even feel like work. She said she just loved helping all these people, and she just felt like she was really living her life the way she wanted to. It didn't feel like she's going to work every day. So Kacee dealt with a lot of grief in her life. She lost her parents, her Aunt Kate, her Uncle Kyle, 2 cousins, and other family and friends. So I don't know the exact years of that. That's just what they stated on her obituary, is that she has lost quite a few family members over the years as well. Now, Kacee Terry and Casey Tanner, that was the guy that she married in high school, just after high school, eventually separated or got divorced, and since approximately 2019, Kacee had a roommate. Okay, that's the suspect in the case, Meggan Sundwall, who was 11 years older than her, married, a mother of 3, and a registered nurse. Now, I'm not sure if Kacee knew that she was married and a mother of 3, because from everything I'm reading, it's kind of like she was living a double life. I'm also not understanding how she was married, a mother of 3, but yet she was a roommate of Kacee's as well, like at the same time. Those timelines overlap from everything that I'm reading, and that's why I say there's a lot of questions that we are all going to have after this live stream, believe you me. Okay, so Meggan got married to her husband in 2017, and she lived in Santaquin, Utah. Since approximately 2019, Kacee believed that she had been diagnosed with leukemia. So let me explain. Kacee is the victim in this case, okay? She died in August last year. And since around 2019, she was telling her family members that she had leukemia, and she was having all this treatment and all of that. And ironically, since around 2019 is when she had this roommate, the registered nurse, Meggan. But at the same time, Meggan was married, mother of 3. So I hope we're on the same page with that as we keep going with this timeline. So at some point, Meggan lost her job. And I also have questions. When did this happen? Because she was saying that in text messages, but yet she's still listed as a registered nurse, and was apparently working at a hospital. So when did she lose the job, right? At some point, Meggan lost her job and she was looking for financial freedom. That's a red flag. Now, Meggan is innocent until proven guilty, but her charges we're going to go over, and it's pretty wild. So the Lone Peak Police in Utah said, media release that was on March 25th of 2025. We're going to read through all the details in a moment. They just said evidence shows that Kacee had informed her family and friends, including Meggan, that she was suffering from cancer. The theory that Meggan convinced Kacee that she was sick is incorrect and appears to have come from an interview between a news station and someone not familiar with the details of the case. It remains unknown why Kacee told people that she had cancer. So we must clarify that, and I'm going to do that in a moment. Lorraine, thank you so much. Okay, so this could be quite a layered case, because it could be a case where the victim believed that she had cancer, but did not. The doctors later proved she did not have cancer. She was actually completely healthy at 38 years old. Okay, and we'll find out how she died and all of that. Oh my goodness. But so either Meggan, the police were saying Meggan wasn't the one that convinced Kacee. So it's almost like Kacee believing that she had cancer, nobody then knows how or why that would be, is one layer of the case. And then the next layer is what Meggan is accused of doing with that information, like completely exploiting the situation and trying to push her friend to end her life. I mean, wow. Okay, so let's just keep going here. So the pictures on the right-hand side are of the victim, Kacee, and her former husband, from what I could see on Facebook. If there are any corrections or any information that anyone wants to add, if you know the people in this case, or if you know details that maybe, I don't know yet, please email me at grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com. So here's what Kacee's sister says. Her name is Kylie, and she says, as Kacee's only sister, living immediate family member and longtime resident of Alpine with many family and friends there, I feel the need to make a comment because of all the questions and comments we're getting. The day I was told by doctors that my little sister was brain dead and I needed to take her off life support was one of the hardest days in my life. Them telling me it could take hours to watch her die because she was a healthy 38-year-old was a huge kick in the stomach to us all. There are still so many unanswered questions to this case that one day we hope to have answers for. See, her sister is also like, oh my word, there are so many unanswered questions. So then she said, I personally have taken Kacee to doctor's appointments, picked up medications from pharmacies, and sat with her while she threw up violently for hours straight. To be told that she was okay was quite a shock. There are only 3 things that are for sure to me right now. 1, Kacee is dead. 2, Meggan killed her for money that didn't exist. Okay, that's allegedly. She's innocent to proven guilty, but this is, I'm just reading what her sister posted. Okay, she said, Kacee dead, Meggan killed her for money that didn't exist, and 3, it was not assisted in one's own life. I'm obviously saying that for YouTube. Terry says, so proud to be a Grizzly. The compassion for victims and respect for their family says everything about you, G. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so then it said, okay, wait, I lost my place here for a second. It said Kacee had a job in a car. She had just had a knee replacement and was doing so much better. She had a positive outlook on life and a dog that meant the world to her. Her attitude, health, and demeanor were also positive in her last weeks. If you knew Kacee, you knew how much she loved Bella, that's her dog. There's no way that she would leave Bella behind. Kacee was loved by so many people and she loved so many people. We don't know answers yet, but please be respectful in your comments. Our family sees them and they don't make this any better. So yes, of course, here at Grizzly True Crime, we ask the same. Please be kind to the victim and their family because they are usually watching with us. We want them to feel that they are safe here with us, that they can express themselves, that they can reach out to us, and that we've got their back as they fight for justice for their family member. Okay, so let's keep going with what happened in this case, right? All right, so this is from Kacee's Facebook. So I'm just showing you some of the pictures that she had posted. And she said on the right-hand side there, which I don't know why it's in a different language there, but it was in February of 2020. She said, so I just wanted to post that I got my port in today and how grateful I am for my friends who showed up to support me. Meg, the suspect, was there too, but the nurse took the picture before she got there because she was clear on the other side of the hospital working. I'm sad that she wasn't in it with us, but I'm grateful that she showed up for me. Thanks again, everyone, for all your help with helping me in every way that you can. You have no idea how grateful I am for all of you. So I've seen some speculation online that this could be a case of like Munchausen's by proxy. Could be something like that, right? There's actually a new word for that. Fictitious disorder of another, something like that. Munchausen. Wait, I want to get it right. Munchausen by proxy. I'm sure you think of, who do you think of when I say that? New name for it is factitious disorder imposed on another. I don't know if that's the case, but that's what she was saying. And she's like, yes, Meg was also here, but she's not in the picture. Okay, now I'm not going to read the long screenshot there. The point of me showing you that was in case someone wants to pause to read or find that on Facebook. But the most important thing I took out of that she posted, that's Kacee's comments, was Meg works at the hospital. And I'm like, oh, so Meg works at the hospital where you were being treated allegedly for all this cancer that she didn't actually have. Yeah, and Britt Black says they put a port in a healthy woman. That's what I'm saying. There's something, I don't know. This case is, it's a little bit strange. Okay. So then now we go to the last day that Kacee was alive. Monday, August 12th of 2024. The Lone Peak Police Department responded to a 911 call made at Kacee's grandfather's home in Highland, Utah, after her uncle Mark reported that Kacee had numerous health issues, that she was gasping for air, and that she was breathing and it sounded like she was drowning. That sounds really scary. So she had been living at her grandfather's house. So initially she had a roommate, which was Meggan, and we'll find out in a moment that her sister actually moved her out of there because the sister was concerned about Meggan's behavior. So Kacee was living at her grandfather's house. And so that's where the 911 call came from, and her uncle also lived there. So then they said family indicated that an acquaintance of Kacee's, Meggan Sundwall, was present during the initial 911 call, but had left prior to emergency responders arriving. Oh my word, that's a red flag. So you're a registered nurse. Your friend is dying or can't breathe. And you're like, all right, I'm gonna head out. Like the minute that 911 is called, she leaves. All right. So then Meggan later told police, obviously they went and found her to question her. Meggan later told police that she'd been alone with Kacee all morning and noted that she'd been suffering for several hours that day. And yet, Meggan never called 911. She never called the hospital. She never called colleagues. No, nothing. She didn't call for help. She's just like, yeah, she was suffering all day. Okay. Paramedics arrived and they tried to stabilize Kacee's breathing, and they noticed a diabetic needle at the foot of her bed. Kacee's uncle told them that she wasn't diabetic. Okay. Meggan had told Kacee's family that Kacee, so Meggan now, the suspect, the acquaintance, the friend, the former roommate, is telling Kacee's family, by the way, she has a do-not-resuscitate order and she doesn't want to go to the hospital. She, no matter what, the family's like, oh, hell no. They couldn't find proof of that. She was airlifted to the Mountain Point Hospital in Lehigh, is that correct? And where tests revealed that her blood sugar level was 14. Now, anything below 40 is considered to be life-threatening. Kacee never regained consciousness. She was declared brain dead, and she died 3 days later on August 15th of 2024. Oh my word. Okay, so are we following? Now the death investigation. Kacee's autopsy confirmed that she died from an overdose of insulin and promethazine and other drugs. I wonder what the other drugs are. Promethazine is a medication primarily used as an antihistamine to treat allergies, motion sickness, nausea, and vomiting. It also has sedative properties, making it useful for managing anxiety, promoting sleep, or calming patients before surgery. Or in this case, could be to knock someone out. I don't know. Police launched an investigation into Kacee's death and found that family and friends said that she had a myriad of health issues. Then the snippet from articles, it's very difficult to get documents out of Utah, obviously, especially on a weekend as well. But Utah it's pretty notorious for making it super hard to get documents. So we don't have the documents right now, but others do. The media does, and so we're citing from that today, okay? However, after speaking with doctors and physicians that had cared for Kacee, Lone Peak Police discovered that Kacee had never been diagnosed with the purported health issues. Kacee had been telling her family and friends that she had cancer for years. She did not have cancer. She was not diabetic, and she was, in fact, a healthy 38-year-old woman. Sure, that was a shock to her family. There was no do not resuscitate order, and Meggan had not been given power of attorney. Kacee's family was shocked. They believed that she'd been battling cancer for approximately 5 years. I just find it interesting that even though the police put out a statement, maybe it's for legal purposes, of course, that no, it wasn't Meggan that convinced Kacee that she had cancer. I find the timeline interesting, that it's kind of when Meggan's around and a roommate, that at that time is when this leukemia diagnosis creeps in. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's just my opinion. Let me know what yours is. Over the past few years, Kacee's health started to decline more and more. She was unable to work like she had in the past, and she was able to find great comfort from the companionship of her dog Bella. That's what Kacee's obituary says. I've linked all my sources in the description box if you want to check that out, like if you want to read her whole obituary. The investigation revealed that Kacee had likely died after being injected with a lethal dose of insulin. According to a forensic pathologist, the only way for Kacee's blood sugar to drop to 14 is through exogenous insulin, meaning insulin administered from outside the body. The stored history from a blood glucose monitor found on scene shows 19 readings in 10 hours on August 12th of 2024. The readings on the monitor continually drop, and then at 4:23 p.m., Meggan allegedly searched how low the specific monitor would read. Okay, so it is alleged that Meggan, what she's accused of doing is bringing along insulin to treat her friend who was not diabetic. That she's accused of giving her a lethal dose of insulin, but then she also brought along, allegedly, a monitor to see how it was going. That is so scary. That is so sinister when you think about it like that. She's innocent until proven guilty. If you think about it like that she was alone in the house, the grandfather's house, because I'm wondering how the hell was she alone with her? I don't know where everyone was. Maybe they'd all popped out for the day. I don't know if they went to work or what they're doing. But she was alone. She was in Kacee's room, Meggan, apparently. And whoa, isn't that scary? To sit there and have this 19 readings in 10 hours, that's a long time to be sitting by someone's side, allegedly waiting for her to die. So, sure, here on Facebook, Kacee had posted, thanks, Shauna, to somebody that commented on one of her posts about how lovely her hair looks. She said, can you believe this was only 3 months ago? I actually had hair this chemo. SH1T sucks. I look like SH1T. So she really, I don't know if she had any chemo, but she's telling people that she did, which is why I say the case is a little bit layered. You know, she could be suffering with something herself and believing that she's got, that she's got leukemia. And I don't know if she was going for chemo or not, or what was happening there. But she was telling people that. And who knows? Who knows what more this investigation will reveal? On the right-hand side, there's a little clipboard I made there for you that says, while getting information about Kacee's medical history from her primary care physician, they were told that she never had cancer. The autopsy performed revealed no cancer, no health problems. There was nothing terminally wrong with Kacee Terry. Oh, wow. So yeah, you could see she posted, she's actually got like a fundraiser Facebook page, and she was posting all her medical updates. She really believed that she had cancer. Now, who is Meggan Sundwall? That's the roommate, right? The one accused, the one arrested. A 47-year-old registered nurse who worked at a hospital in Utah. She was Kacee's former roommate. Meggan and her husband, the one she married in 2017, took out a home loan in 2023 and entered into at least 2 loan modification agreements within a year and a half. You know what's interesting is in the 5 years, that Meggan's around Kacee. Kacee's getting more and more sick, and she's saying she's got leukemia and all of that. But then things escalate, and that's also interesting when you put that timeline together, because I'm like, whoa. And they took out a home loan in 2023 and then made at least 2 loan modification agreements within a year and a half. And then Kacee's sister decided, that's it, I'm moving her out of the apartment that she was sharing with Meggan due to concerns over Meggan's behavior. Meggan's constant insistence that Kacee should be taking insulin, apparently over the years, she was saying, you should take this, shame. If I were you, if I had leukemia, I would want to just take myself out. This is how I would do it. All I would do is take a lot of insulin. She was giving suggestions for years, chipping away, allegedly, telling Kacee how she could do it, what could be easier, how she should pass. Oh, wow. And yeah, trigger warning, buckle up, because when we get to the next text messages, it's really, truly horrifying what she had texted, according to the police, according to the arrest affidavit, her friend. Okay, so the family was starting to get concerned over Meggan's behavior, also because Kacee had been telling her family that Meggan keeps telling me I should take insulin and I should just take myself out, and that she should, if she had my diagnosis, then she wouldn't stick around, and that it's time now. And the family's like, oh hell no, we're moving you out of there and you're staying at grandpa's house, right? So Terry's sister stated that she moved Kacee out of the shared apartment and into her grandfather's house where she lives now, due to Kacee complaining about Meggan bringing insulin home and trying to talk Kacee into treatments to help end her suffering. Oh my goodness, the warrant states. Sundwall, that's Meggan, would also have her father come to the house to give Kacee Terry LDS release blessings to help her pass on. This is so like, isn't this like, oh my word, I was so shocked. I'm so glad I'm sharing this with you. I don't want to study this case alone. What? So she's like bringing insulin, allegedly, okay, this is all alleged. She's innocent or proven guilty. I say it as a disclaimer. She's accused of bringing insulin home from work, from the hospital. What, she's stealing insulin now? What's going on here? She brings it home, where she's sharing an apartment with Kacee, but yet somewhere in some other house, she's got a husband and 3 kids. Like, how is this all working? I don't even know. Okay. She's bringing insulin home. She's telling Kacee the whole time, take it, take it, take it. Yeah, if I were you, I would take it. If I were you, I would take it. What? And then she even brings her father over. Meggan brings her own father over to give these LDS release blessings to like help her pass on. Oh my word. I wonder what the dad's thinking now. I'm sure that the dad, Meggan's dad, believed that the person that he was praying for and all that had leukemia and was sick and was passing on. Meanwhile, she was completely healthy. Wow. Okay, we continue with August 12th of 2024. According to court records, Meggan texted Kacee at 9:47 a.m. So you know what's going to really get her in this case? I'm excited to see this trial one day. Uncle Google's going to get her, and her text messages are going to get her. Because while there's a lot of questions and, you know, there's a lot of things unanswered, and who knows how it will go. I'm just like, whoa, but there's some really damning evidence against her based on what police are already saying. Just from these documents, right? Rob says, what a crazy case, Justice for Kacee. Thank you so much, Rob. I really appreciate that. This case is crazy. So at 9:47 a.m. on that day, Meggan texts Kacee, do you want to take some promethazine when I get there so that you are asleep when this is happening? When what is happening? When what is happening? Why is she texting that? When this is happening? Police say that Meggan arrived at Kacee's home, which is the grandfather's house where she was staying, at approximately 10 a.m. So how crazy is that shit? She moves out of the apartment. The family's worried. They put her in a safe place there at grandpa's house, but she's not feeling all that well. Getting there, had a knee replacement, as her sister said, but she's getting better. Things are going better for her. And here comes this roommate. For what? For what reason? Why are you visiting? Why are you coming over? So she texts that, okay, do you want some? So you see, that's already, she can't say she didn't have it, didn't suggest it, didn't bring it, because in her text messages, she's like, do you want to take some of this? Huh? Okay. And so police say that Meggan arrived at Kacee's home at approximately 10 a.m. and they were alone in the home together, and she was discovered with Kacee just after 9 p.m. That's a long ass time. 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. alone in the house doing all those blood sugar readings. So Meggan texted her mother just before 2 p.m. to tell her that she couldn't get Kacee to wake up. Do you think at that point that she called 911, the hospital, the ambulance, anything? Did she call for help? Did she call Kacee's family? No. According to records, no, she did not. She didn't call anyone. She texted her mother to say, hey, I can't get my friend Kacee to wake up. But then 7 more hours pass. The police discovered more than 28,000 text messages between Meggan and Kacee since December of 2019. They revealed that Meggan had a fixation with helping her friend to take her own life, detailing different ways that Meggan would do it to herself if she were Kacee, and of Meggan offering to assist her, to take her own life. A registered nurse, remember, offering these things on text messages, according to the police. She was allegedly trying to convince her to end her suffering. I say on the right there stock photo, because as I said in the beginning, we don't have photos of this suspect yet. There's not a mugshot, there's not a photo, there's nothing on social media that I can find. If you find something, please send it to me. But you have to tell me why, why you know that that's her, because the news is sharing all sorts of different pictures and I don't trust it. I'm like, I don't know which one. I don't want to get it wrong. Can you imagine showing someone's picture and be like, this is the perp, and then it isn't? Oh, hell no, I'm not taking that risk. The police discovered more than 28,000 text messages between Meggan and Kacee since December of 2019. We already went over this. So Meggan, a nurse, did not call for medical help for Kacee, nor did she provide life-saving care. It was another 7 hours before Kacee's uncle discovered her and called 911, the arrest report says. Meggan Sundwall is a licensed, registered nurse who intentionally administered insulin to a non-diabetic. Meggan knew this would kill Kacee. Evidence shows that Meggan was having money problems, and that this was done to improve her financial situation. That's from the police affidavit. Right? The messages also revealed Meggan's apparent financial struggles, where she shared how being the beneficiary of Kacee's life insurance policy would solve her problems if she died. This is so weird. This is psychologically so weird. Like Kacee's feeling worse and worse and worse over time. And then Meggan is allegedly saying, if I were you, I would just end it right here. Let me help you do that. These are the ways you can do it. I could even help you do it. But on top of that, the police are saying that from the text messages they can see that Meggan was telling her, if you died, though, I would really, it would solve my problems. I have so much stress financially. So if I were the beneficiary of your life insurance policy, that would be amazing. Wow. Meggan believed that Kacee had a $1.5 million life insurance policy. But guess what? The police said she didn't. So there were points where Kacee, actually the victim, talked with. She said to Meggan, yes, you are the beneficiary. Yes, if I die, you'll get that. That wasn't true. She was just talking with. She didn't have a life insurance policy. Meggan called the life insurance company right after Kacee's death and learned that in fact that she didn't have a life insurance policy. I would love to be a fly on that wall. Right? I would love to hear that call. I'm sure they're going to play that at the trial. Should be like ring, ring immediately. Hi, I'm the beneficiary. No, you're not. It doesn't even exist. Police said detectives were told by Kacee's family and friends that Meggan had been trying to kill Kacee with insulin for years. This theory was corroborated through digital evidence located on the victim's phone. Early texts between the two indicate that Meggan believed that Kacee was very sick. There are over 4 years of text messages detailing different ways that Meggan would kill herself if she was Kacee, and of Meggan offering to help Kacee die. Sure. My goodness. Okay. Kraken said speculation. Could Kacee have had factitious disorder herself, and then Meggan was a manipulative opportunist who developed a pultacious disorder by proxy? I think so. I think it's layered like that. Kraken, I think that's quite plausible, right? So someone, this is one of the texts, okay? Now, this is where I say, just trigger warning, because it's quite psychologically disturbing to hear what this person allegedly texted to the victim. She said, someone, should probably be me, should stay with you and continue to give you doses so it'll actually stay low and you can pass. Police say that there's no evidence indicating that Kacee had ever attempted to take her own life or that she ever wanted to, and her family says that she wasn't wanting to. Sundwall, that's Meggan, sent several text messages over years to Kacee Terry, encouraging her to kill herself by insulin overdose. Like, that's pretty specific as well. Shame. Good luck to the defense attorneys. Right? Because she's like specifically suggesting insulin to take her own life. Like, you should take this. Wow. She said, and this is so eerie. Oh my word, this message. You have to let go. It is past time. And someone, should probably be me, should stay with you and continue to give you doses so it'll actually stay low and you can pass. I can give you insulin over and over until it works. I will come and help you, is what she said, according to charging documents. And the further text in other reports they say, you have to let go. It is past time. I tried to help you, okay? But I can only do so much when you sabotage. Oh my goodness, it's very scary to think about that. Wow. Meggan also allegedly texted, if you dying would get me out of this mess and darkness I'm in now, I would take it. Huh? Imagine texting that to someone. I just can't believe this. Like, if you dying would get me out of this mess, and darkness that I'm in right now, I would take it. Court records named Meggan as a defendant in debt cases brought by collection agencies and the Utah Tax Commission. Because I was wondering, did she really have financial problems or what? Seems so. Evidence shows that Meggan was continuously searching for Kacee Terry's life insurance policy after her death through calls and emails. She asked the police. She actually was so dumb. She asked the police, can you go into Kacee's room and look for it? I'm looking for her life insurance policy. Like, police were already looking at her with a side eye, just like, what the hell is up with this one? So she's a registered nurse. She was with her all day. There's an insulin injection there at the foot of the bed. That's weird when she's not diabetic. Her family's saying it. Her family says they've been worried about this Meggan the whole time, but she bolted the minute that first responders were coming to the house. Yeah, they were looking at her already with a side eye. And then she actually, I don't even know how to word it, has the audacity to ask the police, could you go into her room though? And can you find her life insurance policy? Just like, I just need that. Wow. It still took months to arrest her though. Obviously they had to investigate everything, and it will take a few months to get all the digital data and all the search warrants required, right? So then, wow, police said text messages also indicated that Meggan Sundwall had dismal finances and the motive for the killing was money. Meggan also allegedly deleted more than 900 text messages from her phone and conducted a search for her life insurance policy. Wow. So some reports say 900, some say 300. Police served a search warrant on Sundwall's phone and found nearly 300 text messages between. Oh, yeah, okay. So she deleted more than 900, and they found more than 300 text messages that had been deleted that were particularly about insulin and or her money problems. So she went through all the messages, according to what the police are saying, and went and deleted ones from July 20th of 2024 to August 12th. August 12th was the day that Kacee received that last, allegedly, obviously very fatal dose of insulin. She died on August 15th, but on August 12th was the day that Meggan was with her, right? So from July 20th to August 12th, she's deleting messages there about insulin or her money problems. When the police asked her why she deleted those texts, she said that she didn't want it to look like she was being accused of murdering Kacee. She's like, I didn't want it to look sus. I thought maybe you'd accuse me. So I deleted those. Like, Wow. So it's not only about the messages that are on the phones, but also the ones that were deleted. Meggan also allegedly deleted more than 900 texts from her phone, conducted a search for a life insurance policy. And despite the years of conversations about overdosing on insulin, police say that Meggan claimed that she had no idea that Kacee Terry wasn't doing well when she was found unconscious on August 12th of 2024. Oh my goodness. So not only does she text those things, she deletes messages, and then afterwards asks the police to get in there and go and find that life insurance policy. But then she also tells the police she had no idea that she wasn't feeling well at all. Wow, they only have like 5 years worth of messages to completely debunk that. That is very sus. Wow. Okay, so clearly she didn't think she'd ever be caught, right? Since about January of 2024, Meggan had been complaining to Kacee about her poor finances, and Kacee reassured her that she was her beneficiary of the $1 million life insurance policy. Shame. That's sad. Kacee was just talking with and trying to comfort her and saying, don't worry, you are the beneficiary. Obviously not thinking that this person would ever be capable of something like this, allegedly, right? Sundwall was accused of engaging in a years-long plot to convince Terry that she had cancer and to let Sundwall medicate her. The police say it wasn't her that convinced her. Maybe she had convinced herself. No one wants to victim blame. We're not victim blaming. I'm just thinking there is a possibility, according to what the police say, that Kacee believed she had cancer without Meggan's influence. Meggan just joined and exploited, according to these accusations. So then they said evidence showed Sundwall, which is Meggan, was having money problems and had wanted to cash in on a rumored $1.5 million life insurance policy held by Kacee, that she believed that she was the beneficiary, the affidavit stated. But she wasn't. The arrest. Meggan was arrested on March 20th of 2025 at her home, the one she shared with her husband and 3 children, at her home in Santaquin, Utah, and she was charged with first-degree felony aggravated murder and third-degree obstruction of justice. The obstruction of justice, from what I've read, comes from all the deleted text and, of course, lying to police. She was booked into the Utah County Jail, and she's being held on no bail. No bond for her. The arrest came about 7 months after Kacee Terry's death on August 15th of 2024. So the screenshots I have is from the Utah Sheriff's Office site, and yeah, they just said no image available. I was like, I'm going to find her mugshot. Couldn't find her mugshot. Damn it. So it said arrested 03/20/2025 at 4 p.m. Lone Peak, Alpine, and Highland PD are the arresting agencies. She was booked on that day as well at 4:39 p.m. And you could see height 5'6", weight 135 pounds, green eyes, brown hair, female, born 1977. And here are her charges: aggravated murder and obstruction of justice. Peggy Torrey says, with friends like that, who needs enemies? It's sad when people like Kacee abuse their knowledge of medicine to harm someone. So when people like, Kacee's the victim in this case. So when people like Meggan abuse their knowledge of medicine to harm someone, yes, that's very sad when this happens. Oh my goodness. So yeah, she was finally arrested, which is why this case is now in the news, and there's more information now, but still not that much. This is, I tried to pull from everywhere. I tried to get every bit of information we possibly can get right now, and then we can follow up later if more information comes out. So what will Meggan's defense be? Because I can only imagine that the first thought would be, oh, I'll just say that she wanted to, that the victim wanted to die, and I was just assisting her. Okay, so I had a look into that, right? Let me quickly read something. Liz, that vegan, said in Utah they don't have public mugshots. Oh, they are only public after conviction. Ah, okay. Interesting. Thank you, Liz, that vegan. No wonder. Her face is a secret right now, and we want to look at it. Okay, so what will Meggan's defense be? Meggan graduated with an associate's degree from Utah Valley State in 2006, and she's had a nursing license since 2007. She does not have any criminal records or disciplinary actions against her before this, so I'm sure her defense will say that. A registered nurse, though, would know that physician-assisted in one's own life is illegal in Utah. Utah law explicitly prohibits the practice under the Advanced Health Care Directive Act, which is Utah Code 752A122, which bans euthanasia, mercy killing, and assisted in one's own life. I have to say it like that because YouTube is very sensitive to that S word. Sorry about that. Then what they do is they age restrict the video, and so if you're watching on a TV and you're not logged in, you can't see it. You can't see it. So I don't want people to not be able to watch, the video. So that's why I'm trying to censor as much as possible. Let's hope it helps. All right, so yeah, that's not going to help. That defense, the state will basically like, no, that's against the law. Also, you're a registered nurse and you should know that. Additionally, in 2018, the Utah legislature amended the state's manslaughter statute, Utah Code 765-205, to make it a second-degree felony for a healthcare professional to intentionally and knowingly prescribe medication intended to cause death, punishable by up to 15 years in prison. But for her and the charges she's facing, it gets worse. With a charge of first-degree felony aggravated murder, Meggan could face between 25 years and life in prison. And based on these charges, she could actually, in Utah, face the death penalty. They say the state has not yet indicated if they're going to seek the death penalty or not, but they might. Whoa. The Utah Division of Professional Licensing has launched an investigation into the allegations. One would hope so, right? One would hope so. Okay, so this is a snippet from an article about Friends. Now you'll see the picture on the right-hand side. That's what I mean. That picture sometimes is being used in some other YouTube coverage or on Facebook or TikToks as like, that's not the perpetrator. That's a friend that actually spoke to the media and gave a little more info. We're going to look at 2 clips of her in a moment. That's a friend. That's not Meggan. So anyway, I just put a picture of Kacee with a friend. We're going to see her interviews in a moment, And shame, look at a dog. And there is Kacee with her dog. So in this little snippet, it says, I was relieved when I found out that Meggan had finally gotten caught and they had enough evidence to put her away because everybody knew what happened. A friend of Terry's who wishes to remain anonymous stated. Another friend of Terry's, Nico Anderson, said that she and Terry lived next to each other in American Fork 19 years ago. I have had 2 children since I met her, Anderson said, so I had 5 older children in a year, so we just became instant friends during that time. Anderson went on to say that she wasn't surprised to learn about the allegations against Meggan Sundwall. She kind of liked to have Kacee secluded. Oh boy, there goes the isolation red flag. And she came over when she was not invited or welcome, Anderson explained. Kacee locked the doors to make sure that nobody would just show up, because Meg was known to just kind of show up. Kacee was starting to lock the doors. Like, oh my word, okay. V. Aguilar said Switzerland allows assisted, yes, but 3 doctors have to. I've seen lots of documentaries on that, actually. I don't know why YouTube showed it to me, but I watched one, and then I saw, you know, then the algorithm shows you more of them. Yeah, I did see that in Switzerland. It is available. So anyway, so that's what they said here. And so we're almost done with our presentation, and then we're going to be looking at some clips. Kacee's family expressed relief after learning of Meggan's arrest, saying that they believed that she was trying to kill her for years. Kacee's wishes were to be buried with Bella alongside our parents. Bella is her dog in Alpine, Utah. I wonder where her dog is right now, right? Because she says she wishes to be buried with Bella. And so I don't know where Bella is now. Is Bella still alive or not? Or I don't know. But this is a picture of her with a dog that she just loved so much. Shame. And that her family said she would never just leave Bella behind. Okay, so that is our presentation. Let me just make sure. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so now let's have a look at, firstly, let's do very quick map time. Okay, just a very quick map time just to show you just the area, because it's in Utah, of course. And I was just looking between, like, how far would Meggan have to drive from where she came from? I don't know which hospital she worked at, but if she was coming from, I just made this vague, so just a YouTube disclaimer, this is public record of where the 911 call was made from. It was around the 6600 block of West Stevens Lane, so it's nothing specific, but just, it's a 40-minute drive. It's about 40 miles from where the area where Meggan stayed with her husband and 3 kids, apparently. Right, so let me just see what it's called again. It's called Santaquin, Utah. So Meggan would have had to possibly drive from her home that she shared with her husband and 3 kids and drive 40 minutes to go and spend the day with Kacee and do what? It sounds horrible, right? Okay, so I just wanted to show you this as well, because you'll probably find it on Facebook, and let's be kind to the victim and their family, right? As I say, this is a layered case, and there's somebody that's been arrested and charged with aggravated murder, 1st degree, in obstruction of justice. And I think that whether, because it says Kacee's medical bills and medications, so I could just see there's a bit of ugliness on social media of people being like, people are saying the victim was like scamming people and all that. I don't think she was scamming people. I think she truly believed that she was really, really sick, right? As Kraken said, could Kacee have had fractious disorder herself? And then Meggan was a manipulative opportunist who developed pultaceous disorder by proxy. It could be that, right? So you will find this. So I'm just showing it to you. Kacee's medical bills and medications, and she documented her illness, right? But she was actually healthy. Shame. She was actually 38 years old when she died and healthy. Oh my word. So whether Meggan got in her head and told her, you have leukemia, you're very sick, or not, the police say no. Or whether she just believed it herself, or whether, you know, I don't know. I don't know what to speculate. I don't want to speculate. I'm just saying that she did post these regular updates of how it was going. You see? Okay, so we've got that. Now let's look at this clip over here. Let me make sure I boost it for you, of one of Kacee's friends.
I was relieved when I found out that Meggan had finally gotten caught and they had enough evidence to put her away, because everybody knew what happened.
40 Sundwall is now in custody. Last August, first responders found her with 38-year-old Kacee Terry, who was unresponsive in her bedroom. Terry died 3 days later in the hospital. Tonight, Terry's friend, Nico Anderson, is mourning her loss.
Kacee and I used to live right next to each other in American Fork 19 years ago. I've had 2 children since I met her. So I had 5 older children, and yeah, so we just became instant friends during that time frame, just living next to each other, and she just assisted me with my kids, and we just did life.
Police documents say Sundwall claimed Terry had terminal cancer. While investigating Terry's death, detectives found thousands of texts between the pair spanning 4 years. They say in some conversations, Sundwall offered suicide as an option to Terry and even offered to help Terry die. Now, learning this information, friends like Anderson say they're not shocked at all.
She kind of liked to have Kacee secluded, and she came over when she was not invited or welcome. Kacee locked the doors to make sure that no one would just show up, because Meg was known to just kind of show up.
So what's the truth? Investigators say Kacee Terry did not have cancer, did not have diabetes. In fact, an autopsy revealed she had no health problems.
Kacee has had several different types of cancer, supposedly cancer. She's had, for some reason I thought she had some type of a hysterectomy or something like that. It was more like maybe she possibly had a miscarriage. I'm not for sure on what is even the truth and reality versus made up and fictional.
She says Terry believed Sundwall was a bad influence, tried to distance herself. Police evidence shows Sundwall kept searching for Terry's life insurance policy after her death and deleted over 900 texts from her phone. Remembering Terry tonight, Nico says she wants people to learn something from this.
I just want people to stand up and speak their truth and have boundaries and have some healthy boundaries.
Well, we did get in contact with Kacee Terry's sister today, too. She says she's obviously still processing everything that happened. She does have a message she wants to share. She says her sister never had a life insurance policy and claims nurse Meggan Sundwall knew that but didn't want to believe that. Something else we want to note here. We looked, according to online records last updated yesterday, Sundwall's nurse license is still active. The Division of Professional Licensing says, quote, DOPL is taking the report of this nurse allegedly poisoning her roommate very seriously and has launched an investigation into the allegations.
Okay, so we've seen that clip. I just want to... There's a lot of questions. I know. I told you guys we're going to have a lot of questions. Ned Smith, you have said over and over that KSL News Utah has a picture of the nurse. I've explained why I'm not showing it. I've seen great news sources showing pictures, but they show different pictures, and I can't confirm myself whether that's her or not. So I'm not going to show it until I absolutely am sure, because the last thing I'm going to do is show a picture, which is actually, there are pictures on Kacee's Facebook, and those are the ones, there's a few of them that it's alleged to be Meggan next to her, but I don't know, so I'm not comfortable sharing it. Okay, just so you know, if you go look on the news and if you believe it's her, great. I don't yet. I'm not sure, so I'm going to be very, very careful. All right, there's one more clip that I want to show you here quickly, which is the same friend here.
Into her life and has persuaded and convinced Kacee that she was sick and that she was dying, and there was nothing wrong with her. And we didn't know that until after she passed.
Tonight, a Utah nurse is behind bars, accused of carrying out a years-long murder plot. Driven by greed for life insurance money, the woman allegedly killed her old roommate.
Yeah, and that roommate, a Santaquin nurse, was just arrested yesterday after a 7-month-long investigation. New at 10, News Specialist Garna Mejia hearing from the victim's friends and family. Garna, what they have to say?
Yeah, they are understandably devastated and trying to
Might want to boost this for you a little bit. Hey, it looks a little bit soft on my side. Hold on. So we'll do it like this. And then while we're quickly pausing here, Let me just answer this. Somebody said, okay, Krista said, when did she pass away? I hope you'll check out the presentation. She passed away in August. It was August 15th of 2024. Skitty said, I don't understand and I'm confused how she got a port if she wasn't sick. I don't know if she actually got one. And if she did, I mean, she was saying that Meggan worked at that hospital. So could that be how or what? I don't know. I really don't. That's why I say I have so many questions. Let's see this clip here quickly.
Process all of this. Now, detectives in Highland suspect that this was premeditated. They found dozens of text messages from the suspect, Meggan Sundwall, discussing how much insulin was needed to kill the victim, Kacee Terry.
Being there for each other. We have loved each other dearly.
After nearly 20 years of friendship, Nico Anderson was heartbroken last August when her 38-year-old friend Kacee Terry passed away.
So it was a very painful, very trying time for the whole family.
Almost from the start, Kacee's family and friends knew something wasn't right.
There was an investigation about how she died and what happened.
Kacee's uncle found her unconscious in her bedroom, but Kacee wasn't alone. According to a search warrant, Kacee's old roommate, Meggan Randall Sundwall, and Meggan's parents were standing over her. When the uncle went to call 911, the parents started to argue, telling him that Kacee didn't want to go to the hospital and, quote, wants to go. According to a probable cause statement.
I can't believe that she actually said that to Kacee's family. Like, by the way, she wants to go. Like, she's ready to die. She doesn't want to, she's got a do not resuscitate order. They're like, where? There was no proof of that. Jean said, I hate for them to show my face if I'm just a friend. Better to make sure. Yeah, I'm just going to make sure. Here's the probable cause affidavit. I see that somebody has just emailed me something, which looks like documents in this case. Thank you so much to the person who sent that to me. I will be reviewing those afterwards, and I'll be back with more information if there is more information as I gather it. It might be, I don't know when. Who knows when it will be. Whenever there's more information or we can see something, I will let you know.
Paramedics also found a diabetic needle, even though Kacee was not a diabetic. At the hospital, Kacee's blood sugar level was just 14, far below normal. But things only got stranger. For years, Kacee told her family that she had terminal cancer, but doctors found no trace of the illness in her system.
We were all blown away that she didn't have cancer, that she didn't have leukemia.
Then there were the concerns Kacee's family had about Meggan, who was a registered nurse, and her interest in a rumor.
See, the news is showing this, mostly this picture. But then comments on Facebook refer to her as Joe or something, and then I'm confused. I don't know. Could be her. This could be her, but I don't know.
$1.5 million life insurance policy. Detectives zeroed in on Meggan and discovered more than 28,000 text messages starting in 2019, with Meggan offering to help Kacee die, and how Meggan's money problems would be solved by Kacee dying and Meggan receiving the life insurance payout.
Meg got into her life and has persuaded and convinced Kacee that she was sick and that she was dying, and there was nothing wrong with her.
Well, and tonight, Kacee Terry's cause of death, we're also learning, was an overdose of promethazine, insulin, and other drugs. Tonight, I also spoke with Kacee Terry's sister, who tells me that she's not ready to speak publicly yet, but she did want to emphasize that Kacee never had an insurance policy, and the suspect knew this. I also received a statement from Intermountain Healthcare. They say that Meggan Sundwall is not an employee and has not been employed with them for more than a year.
More than a year. You see, that's interesting with the timeline, right? Because it all goes along with her getting like a home loan in 2023 and then adjusting that twice and then telling Kacee she's got all these money problems, all of that. Just remember that the police are saying different to what the friend is saying. They said media release on March 25th. Evidence shows that Kacee had informed her family and friends, including Meggan, that she was suffering from cancer. The theory that Meggan convinced Kacee that she was sick is incorrect and appears to have come from an interview between a news station and someone not familiar with the details of the case. So I think that's the interview we just watched. I think the police are referring to that. The police are saying that Meggan didn't convince Kacee that she had cancer, that Kacee was convinced herself. And then that Meggan came along and did what they're accusing her of doing, right? And it's weird to me that they say that Meggan knew that she didn't have a life insurance policy, because I don't think she knew. Otherwise, why would she even do that? Why would she even? I think she was after the life insurance policy, right? That would make sense. Otherwise, what the heck is the motive there? Linda said, please don't forget to leave your paw print on the like and share to support Grizzly, our fantastic mods, and this amazing channel. Thank you so much. Thank you, Linda Wolfen, for being a member for 19 months. If anyone joined membership today, I hope you'll go check out the live stream. It was a members only live stream from yesterday, and we watched some body cam of Jen Soto, and we were snarking a bit and doing all sorts of things here. So go check it out. It's on the members only playlist. All right. If you are on Patreon as well, I always post the YouTube members replays on Patreon. So if you want to see those there, you can as well. All right, everyone. Well, is it not like, wow, do you have questions? It's a weird case. I've got a lot of questions, but like, shame, no matter what. Shame. This is very hectic, Yeah, don't kill people. So that is what Meggan is accused of doing. And I will be keeping a close eye on this case and figuring it out as we go and looking for more documents. Thank you so much. I see there's somebody local, keep all my sources anonymous, who just sent me some documents. Thank you so much. That really helps. Locals do help, especially in Utah and California. So I will see you again very soon. In the meantime, please do stay safe, and happy weekend to you. Bye, everyone. Thank you, mods.